Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be making this beautiful dress on your screen. If this is what you like to watch, please stick to the end of this video. Thank you for joining. Let's get started. Now my fabric is folded into two. I'm using 3 yards of this fabric, okay? My fabric is folded into two, and I will measure from this point to the other point to make sure it covers both my shoulder and the sleeve length of my desire. I will be using the full length, okay? So now the shoulder divided by 2 is 7.5. Okay, can you see 7.5? And from the shoulder to the desired sleeve length is 15 inches plus 1 inch, 16 inches for sewing allowance. Okay, I'm marking 16 at this point. So apparently I will make sure I have up to 24 inches length. Okay, so now I'll measure the sleeve length. Okay, the armhole, the arm opening, whatever you call it. I'm using 11 inches for the sleeve opening. Okay, 11 inches. So from this point, I'm also going to measure 11 inches. Okay, and on this line, okay, and on this line, I'm going to measure the biggest part of your body divided by 4, okay, which is 10 for this case, and 4 inches sewing allowance. So from this point to the other point, I have 14 inches, right? So the next thing I will do is to take the 14 inches to the base of the gown. That is what I'm marking at this point, okay? I will also mark it at the middle point for me to get a straight line, right? Okay, so now I'm going to be connecting it with my ruler. Don't forget the hip divided by 4, which is 10, plus 4 inches allowance, okay? That is what we are making use of. Right? So you need to know the biggest part of your body. So this is the sleeve area, okay? This is the sleeve area, and this is the length of the gown, right? Okay, so for this part, I'm going to make it curvy, okay? This is the under part area where you have your armpit, so you need to be curvy. Now, this is the sleeve. I'm going to be connecting the sleeve opening. This is it, okay? So there's no shoulder slope on this dress. There's no shoulder slope. So there's no shoulder slope. So the neck line, okay, I'm working with 3 inches for the width. Okay, 3 inches. Then for the depth, I'm working with 7.5. This is the front, 7.5 inches. It's a V neckline, 7.5. Okay, that is what I'm working with. So I'm going to be connecting it with my ruler, the neckline, the length, and the width. So I'm going to be connecting them together as seen in the video. Okay, so once you are done with this, I think that is all. There is no shoulder slope on this dress, right? So I'm going to be cutting, but before that, let me make sure I adjust properly. Okay, make sure they are all equal. Adjust properly and reconfirm your measurement before you cut. Please always reconfirm your measurement before you cut, right? So now we are cutting, okay, on our fabric. This is the front. Like I said, this is the front, and we are making use of the whole length of the Ankara. Don't forget, Ankara comes in 45 inches length, okay? 45 inches, 45.5, 43.5, depending, right? Okay, so this is the sleeve area that we are cutting. Okay, this is the sleeve, right? Okay, so now the next thing is to cut the neckline for the front. At this point, I don't know if you have hit the subscribe button. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please hit the subscribe button, like, share, and comment on this video. Yes, we are done with the front. Can you see what we have? We are done with the front. Okay. Yes, it's a V neckline. So my fabric is now folded into 2 again. Okay, we are planning to cut the back. So I'm going to place this on the folded fabric. Now we are using 3 yards of this fabric, especially because of the length of the sleeve, right? So now this is the neckline area. I want to make sure that I still have 3 inches width for the neckline, okay? Don't forget, I placed the front piece on the folded back fabric. We want to cut out the back, right? So make sure to adjust very well. Make sure that they align. So the neck depth I'm working with is 1.5 inches for the depth of the back neckline. Okay, I hope it's visible enough. I hope you can see it, right? So I like using my ruler. I don't know why. I don't want to just do freehand. I like using my ruler. So I'm connecting, okay, the 3 inches width and the 1.5 neck depth together, right, to make a curve. So that's what I'll be cutting out now. Okay, I'm cutting out the neckline for the back, and aside the neckline, every other thing is the same. Okay, so aside the neckline, so I will go ahead and start cutting. I will follow the pattern for the front. It's already on the folded fabric, so I will follow it and I will cut out the back. They are all the same. Okay, I don't know if this video has given you value up to this point. Can you hit the subscribe button? To all my returning subscribers, thank you guys. I love you so much. Thank you for the support. Thank you for helping me grow this community. Okay, keep sharing this video. It's beginners friendly. Most of my videos are for beginners. They are beginners friendly. Please share, and subscribe. Thank you. So we are cutting out the back pattern. Okay, so once we cut it out, we proceed to making the design that we'll have at the front. Okay, so make sure that they align before you cut. Always reconfirm your measurements before you cut to avoid story that touch, you know. All right, so we are done cutting. We are done cutting. Yeah, we are done cutting. So this is what we have, the front and the back. Okay, we have the front and the back ready. So this is the back. So we'll go ahead to make facing for the back. Okay, we'll make facing for the back, and for the front we want to make this design you are seeing right now on your screen. Okay, so my doll face is already folded into 2 and I place my front pattern on it, as you can see on the screen, right? So my doll face is folded into 2. Place my front pattern on it. Okay, we are trying to cut like a facing, just the way you cut your facing, but the difference is that instead of you to sew it inside, you sew it outside. Do you understand? So what I'm measuring here is 4.5. Okay, but I later extended it to 5 inches because by the time I sew in half and sew in the other half, what I will have there is 4 inches. Okay, so this is me marking 4, or let me say 5 inches. Okay, 5 inches. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, so I'm going to cut out. I'm just tracing it, following the neckline. Please, you have to be very careful. If you have to iron out first before making this, so that you have a neat job. Okay, so this is me cutting through. Okay, like I said, I measured 4.5 here. Okay, then I open it up. Okay, so I'm going to measure 4.5 at that angle too, right? Then from this point all the way, I'll keep marking 4.5. Okay, I'll keep marking 4.5. Okay, 4.5. Just follow it gradually. Okay, then you connect together. Okay, so just make sure, okay, everything is well aligned, and can you see me trying to connect them together just the normal way you do your facing. Okay, depending on the shape or the design that you want, but make sure that they are equal on both sides. Make sure they are equal. So that is why I said if you have to iron out, right? So let me take it closer again. Okay, from this point where we have our v-neck line, can you see that was from the point I started curving in towards, can you see, that was from the point I started curving in to get the actual shape that I want, right? So this is it. Okay, then you cut out, so depending on the shape that you want. Okay, so once I cut out, this is what I have. Can you see it? So it was a bit smaller for me, so that was why I had to increase it to 5 inches. Okay, can you see it now? Can you see it on the dress? So I've gone ahead to put a paper stay on it, an interface, right? And I folded the edges by 0.5. Then I'm going to sew this place 0.5. Okay, I'm going to sew the V neckline 0.5. Okay, so this is the right side of the doll face facing the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, the right side of the doll face facing the wrong side of the fabric. So now that I'm done, can you see what we have? Okay, this is what we have. So before I continue, can you see? Before I continue, so we are going to place right side facing right side of the two patterns. Okay, right side facing right side, and we are going to close up the shoulders. Okay, we are going to close up the shoulders. When we are done closing up the shoulders, then I will now bring my hemming gum and bring down this pattern at the front, this design at the front. So when I bring it down, it will stick to the dress. Then I will now sew round. Okay, I will now sew it round. Can you see? I will now sew it round. I've gone ahead to do that. So the next thing is to work on the sleeve. I will hem the sleeve. Okay, make sure to hem the sleeve. I have not joined the side yet. Okay, so now before you join the side, you bring your velvet trimming. Okay, so I measured from the shoulder to 32 inches for the first one. Okay, 32 inches for the first one. Okay, that is what I measured for the first one. The length of this dress is going to be 42. Okay, so where my velvet trimming is starting is going to be 32. The length of the dress is 42. Where the velvet trimming is starting is 32. That is what I am marking. Then the next one will start from 35. Okay, that is 2 inches apart. The first velvet trimming will start at 32 and the second one will start at 35. Okay, there is 2 inches between the two. Okay, so when you are done measuring, okay, towards the end of the fabric, towards the side you are going to sew, so you are going to minus 1 inch sewing allowance. Can you see what I'm doing? You minus 1 inch sewing allowance from the both side. Can you see? Can you see? So that is where our trimming will start. Now you come to this other side, you minus 1 inch sewing allowance. Okay, minus 1 inch sewing allowance. Okay, so you bring your velvet. Okay, because of the part that is, that is pouring out, so you are going to measure your desired length. I'm using 15 inches. Okay, I'm using 15 inches. Just watch me closely. 15 inches. So this 15 inches is going to start, I'll start sewing it after the 1 inch I left for sewing allowance. I hope you are understanding me, right? I'm going to start sewing this after the 1 inch I left for sewing allowance. Okay, is it that you use a gum? Okay, is it that you use your electric gum or you sew it down? But when you are sewing, make sure you use the exact thread so that it will not be visible. So for this again, I'll measure my 15 inches. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? And pick it up and place my 15 inches. It will start sewing from the point I have my 1 inches allowance. So it's after my allowance, because after attaching this, that is when I will close the gown. So you need to leave that 1 inch space. Okay, you can either use your hemming gum to bring it down, you can use your electric gum, you can use your uhu gum, but make sure that the space apart is 2 inches for this particular design, this style, 2 inches apart. Okay, can you see it? So by the time you are done with this, you move over to the back side and you repeat the same. Okay, then from this angle, let me take it again. Can you see? I will sew from that point to this point and I'm leaving 1 inch seam allowance, and you hem your fabric. That will be all. Can you see how beautiful our dress came out? Is this not beautiful? Is this not lovely? Is this not beautiful? Is this not lovely? Can you see how beautiful our dress came out? Okay, so please try this and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. See you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.